You have been told since you were a child, maybe by your parents, maybe by your school teacher, to brush your teeth after every single meal. It's ingrained in us. Eat breakfast, brush. Eat lunch, brush. It sounds like the perfect hygiene habit. But what if I told you that this specific habit, brushing at the wrong time, specifically after eating certain healthy foods, is actually shaving away your enamel and aging your smile by 20 years? It sounds crazy, right? How could brushing be bad? But science tells us this is the #1 mistake people make with their dental hygiene. When you eat certain foods, your enamel changes. It goes from being as hard as granite to being as soft as wet sandstone. And when you take a toothbrush, even a soft one, and you scrub that soft surface, you are literally sanding down your teeth. You are scrubbing away the protective layer that keeps your teeth white, strong, and pain-free. Once that enamel is gone, it does not grow back. It is gone forever. So if you have noticed your teeth getting yellower as you get older, or if they are becoming transparent at the edges, or if you feel that sharp zinger of pain when you drink ice water or hot coffee, you need to pay close attention, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what is happening on a microscopic level. I'm going to identify the healthy habits that are destroying your smile, and I'm going to give you the exact 60-minute rule that will save your teeth for the rest of your life. I'm Dr. Alan Mandell. I want you to keep your natural teeth for the rest of your life. There is nothing like your natural teeth. Implants, dentures, veneers, they have their place, but nothing functions or connects to your body quite like the teeth you were born with. So let's protect them. To understand why this mistake is so dangerous, we have to look at what your teeth are actually made of. Your enamel is the hardest substance in the human body. It is harder than bone. It's made of something called hydroxyapatite, which is a crystalline calcium phosphate. Under a microscope, it looks like a dense forest of tightly packed crystals. This is your shield. It protects the softer, sensitive inner part of the tooth, called the dentin. Now, here is the chemistry that nobody explains to you. Enamel is incredibly strong, but it has one major weakness: acid. There is a specific number I want you to remember, 5.5. That is the critical pH level. The pH scale measures how acidic or alkaline something is. Neutral is 7, like plain water. Anything below 7 is acidic. When the environment in your mouth drops below a pH of 5.5, something terrifying happens to those crystals. They begin to dissolve. This process is called demineralization. Imagine dropping a sugar cube into warm water. It doesn't disappear instantly, but the edges start to get soft, fuzzy, and weak. That is exactly what happens to the surface of your teeth when you eat or drink acidic things. The calcium and phosphate ions that make your teeth hard literally start to float away into your saliva. Now, this is a natural process. Your body is designed to handle this to a point. But here is where the mistake happens. Here is where the damage becomes permanent. If you eat something acidic, let's say an orange, or a vinaigrette dressing your enamel softens, it enters that demineralized state. If you walk into the bathroom immediately after that meal and start scrubbing with a toothbrush, you are not cleaning your teeth. You are exfoliating them. You are stripping away that microscopic layer of softened enamel. You rinse your mouth, you spit, and you think you've done a good job. But what you've actually done is washed away the very minerals that were trying to re-harden your tooth. Over 10, 20, 30 years of doing this, you wear the enamel down so thin that the yellow dentin underneath starts to show through. That's why so many people think their teeth are stained, so they brush harder, or they use abrasive whitening toothpaste, which only makes the problem worse because they are scrubbing away the remaining enamel, revealing more of that yellow dentin. It is a vicious cycle. So, let's talk about the culprits. And this is the tricky part, because the foods that are worst for your enamel are often the foods that are best for your body. I am not telling you to stop eating these things. I am telling you that you must change how you treat your mouth after eating them. The first one is a massive trend right now, and I see people doing this every single morning. Warm lemon water. People wake up, they squeeze half a lemon into warm water, and they drink it down. It's great for the liver. It helps digestion. It gives you vitamin C. I love lemon water, but lemon juice has a pH of around 2 that is highly acidic. It is almost as acidic as stomach acid. When you drink that first thing in the morning, your mouth is arguably at its most vulnerable. Why? Because you've been sleeping for 8 hours, so your saliva production has been low. You have morning mouth. Your teeth are dry. You hit them with that citric acid, and the enamel softens instantly. Then, because you want to have fresh breath for the day, you immediately brush your teeth. You are scrubbing acid directly into the enamel matrix. If you do this every day for a year, you will see significant erosion. You are washing your enamel down the drain. The second culprit is apple cider vinegar. I talk about apple cider vinegar all the time. It is a miracle for insulin sensitivity, for gut health, for acid reflux. But vinegar is acetic acid. It is potent. I have had patients who take a shot of undiluted apple cider vinegar and then brush their teeth, and within a few years, they have erosive lesions, actual divots in their teeth where the enamel has completely dissolved. Number 3 involves your healthy breakfast smoothies. You put in berries, maybe some kiwi, maybe some orange juice or pineapple. Fructose and natural fruit acids are a double whammy. Bacteria in your mouth feed on the natural sugars and produce their own acid, plus you have the acid from the fruit itself. So you have an acid bath going on in your mouth. And the fourth one, which many people think is perfectly safe, is sparkling water. Carbonated water, no sugar, no calories, just bubbles. But how do you get bubbles? You dissolve carbon dioxide in water, which creates carbonic acid. While it is not as strong as lemon juice, it is acidic enough to drop your mouth's pH below that critical 5.5 level. If you are sipping on sparkling water all day long, your teeth never get a chance to recover. They are in a constant state of softness. So, understanding this mechanism, we have to look at the body's natural defense system. God designed our bodies with an incredible ability to heal, and that includes our teeth. The hero of this story is your saliva. Most people don't think about saliva until their mouth is dry, but it is liquid gold for your oral health. Saliva contains calcium, phosphate, and bicarbonate. Remember that baking soda is bicarbonate? Your body produces its own version. When you eat that acidic grapefruit, your saliva glands kick into overdrive. They flood the mouth with this mineral-rich fluid to buffer the acid and bring the pH back up to neutral 7. Once the environment is neutral, the calcium and phosphate in your saliva settle back onto the tooth surface and reharden the enamel. This process is called remineralization. But here is the catch. This process takes time. It takes your saliva approximately 30 to 60 minutes to neutralize the acid and reharden your enamel after a meal. That is the magic window. That is the danger zone. If you brush within that 30 to 60 minute window, you interrupt the healing process. You scrub away the minerals before they can settle. You remove the protective saliva layer. However, if you wait, if you give your body that 1 hour, the enamel hardens again. It becomes like granite again. And then, and only then, is it safe to brush. So, I want to give you a new protocol. This is about changing your routine to work with your body's physiology, not against it. This is how you keep your teeth white, strong, and healthy for decades. Here is what I want you to do. Step number 1, the immediate swish. As soon as you finish eating or drinking anything acidic, whether it's your morning coffee, your lemon water, or a salad with vinaigrette, do not run to the bathroom to brush. Instead, take a mouthful of plain, flat water. Swish it vigorously around your mouth for about 30 seconds and spit it out. Or swallow it. It doesn't matter. What this does is physically rinse away the bulk of the acid and sugar residue. It doesn't fix the pH instantly, but it dilutes the acid attack. It gives your saliva a head start. Step number 2 is my favorite hack, and it costs almost nothing. It's the Baking Soda Neutralizer. If you know you have just eaten something very acidic, like a grapefruit or a glass of wine, and you want to protect your teeth instantly, water might not be enough. Take a small glass of water, mix in just a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, swish that around your mouth, and spit it out. Baking soda has a high pH of around 9. When that hits the acidic environment of your mouth, it neutralizes it instantly. Boom, the acid attack stops right there. You have forced the pH back to neutral, which stops the demineralization and allows your enamel to start hardening immediately. You don't have to brush with it, just rinse with it. Step number 3 involves stimulating that saliva flow. If you have a dry mouth, or if you're older and your saliva production has slowed down, you are at much higher risk for erosion. After a meal, chew a piece of sugar-free gum, specifically gum sweetened with xylitol. Xylitol is a natural sweetener derived from birch bark or corn cobs. Bacteria cannot digest it, so they starve. But the act of chewing stimulates your salivary glands to produce high volumes of saliva. That saliva washes over your teeth, bringing all that calcium and phosphate right where it's needed. 5 minutes of chewing gum can speed up the remineralization process significantly. Step number 4 is a nutritional hack. Finish your meal with cheese. This is an old French tradition, but science backs it up. Eating a small piece of cheese at the end of a meal helps neutralize acids. Cheese contains casein, a protein that helps protect the tooth surface, and it is high in calcium. It essentially creates a protective film over the teeth. So if you've had wine and fruit, have a cube of cheddar cheese. Your body will thank you. Now, let's talk about when you should brush. I recommend brushing before breakfast. I know it sounds backwards. You want to brush the food away. But when you sleep, bacteria multiply in your mouth. That's morning breath. If you eat breakfast first, you are feeding those bacteria instantly. If you brush before you eat, you remove the bacteria, you add a protective layer of fluoride, if you use it, or hydroxyapatite from your toothpaste, and your teeth are slippery and clean. Then you eat your breakfast, your eggs, your oatmeal, your coffee. After breakfast, do not brush. Do the swish. Rinse with water. Floss if you need to. Flossing is generally safe because it cleans between the teeth without abrasion on the surface. But keep the brush away from the enamel for at least 60 minutes. This simple change, switching from eat then brush to brush, eat, then rinse, can stop enamel erosion in its tracks. I also want to touch on something internal, because your teeth are not just dead rocks in your mouth. They are living tissues with a blood supply and a nerve. They rely on nutrients. If your teeth seem weak, or if you are prone to cavities despite good hygiene, you might be missing critical nutrients. The 2 most important ones for your teeth are vitamin D3 and vitamin K2.